Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 9 of the iSphere. My name is Joy.
And I'm I. And we're going to be talking about the worst fucking thing in the world. Joy, you gave me some fun homework that we're going to be talking about a bit later in this podcast. I got to watch Spy Family.
Yeah, I told you to watch Spy Family.
Yeah. And you almost made yourself homework of the worst kind. Apparently, and it's funny because obviously nothing normally happens in the writing, publishing and editing world. There's never any drama. There's never anything. But apparently it's all exploded this week. Hit me with it.
So just for context, we started January with an author faking her own death and coming back from the dead. This is worse.
I forgot about that.
This is all the same year. The writer talk that the book drama for this year has been intense.
Yeah.
This is I don't even know where to begin. I'm going to start by saying this at the start. This is in no way liable. It is not slander. It is not defamation. Everything I am going to be saying is found on Pollyanna Wright's social media. So if she takes issue with it, it's that I'm quoting her.
It's going to be a good episode when we have to put that disclaimer in at the start. Let's fucking go.
So, Pollyanna Brown, or Pollyanna Wright on TikTok, went viral for basically the worst take I think I've seen this year from like the book talk side of things.
It's a high bar.
She also uses the name PK Mancini, which is what some people know her as from the Twitter thread. And absolute shout out to Foz Meadows on Twitter and also TikTok, who has done the most research I've seen. Like, I could not have done most of this without Foz's work. But anyway, this PK Mancini, or Pollyanna Wrights, is her take was, if you send out ARC reviews, so if you're an author and you send out ARC reviews, ARC stands for Advanced Review Copy. And you typically send those out before your book comes out to try and get favourable reviews up on Amazon so that you're more likely to trend in the algorithm and get, organic clicks. Pollyanna's kind of hot take tip that she was giving people was that you should sue people, or you should get them to write a contract saying they will post a review and they will be favourable. And if they are not, you will sue them for the cost of the book and damages done to your name and work. That's not how this works at all. And then there were people on WriterTok who were like, what the fuck? And it caused a lot of people to go, what the fuck, across all social media. She deleted it, and her next video wasn't an apology. It wasn't a I misspoke. It's literally I never said that. That never existed. Which to me felt a little gaslighty, because it was like, no, it doesn't exist. What are you talking about? What video are you talking about?
Huh.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe gaslighting is a little too strong. Like, it's whatever. And then I get more into her character, and I'm like, no, she is gaslighting her audience, because people will call her out on the stuff that she says, and then she will turn around and go, I didn't say that, you're imagining it.
Yep.
So that's where we're starting. This is where this drama starts, and it gets worse from there.
Cool.
And it is a wild. Like, I have notes. I have like.
Oh fuck.
I had to take notes because I'm like, I can't follow this. I literally have 5 pages of notes.
Right. So So this is why. So it's more the deep dive into her after going viral for a pretty shit take.
Yeah,
which is sue
one shit take,
sue people.
That would be fine.
Because I think that was the post that I saw, and I was like, oh, Joy will be interested in this, and you were well and truly like in the fucking weeds at that point. But like what I saw from the initial one was that she was basically saying, because advanced review copies are sent out kind of free of charge, you can sue them for the cost of the book, to make them pay for it if they don't supply that review, and then sue on the back of it if they were to not give that favourable review because you were kind enough to send
damages.
Yeah, which is
not how it works. Like,
no.
When I send out arcs, or when I've done arcs, and there's times when I've received them and I've missed the deadline, and I feel terrible. But I always say I will come back and do the review. I will post to my platforms. But there's times when you just can't do it, and that's fine. Arcs are not. It's nice if you respond to arcs, but it's not mandatory. Like, I get sent arcs that I don't solicit for. People will send me arcs, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'm really sorry, but I will. If I have time and if the book's good, I will talk about it.
I'm wondering if
it's not good, then I tend to just ignore that it's there, so that I don't accidentally. I've done that a couple of times. People have sent me things. They've not been great, and if I say it's not great, it would harm their sales. So I make the decision to be like, I'm not really going to talk about this.
That's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about in terms. And this is already first tangent. Apologies, but like from a author etiquette. I have seen I lightly touch the border of author TikTok occasionally, and there seems to be a little bit of discourse. Yeah. There does seem to be a little bit of discourse around is it right for an author to review other authors' works in the professional reviewing sense, as in to really critique and analyse and kind of go to town on other people's works from a standpoint where, they're a writer themselves. And what is the etiquette around that? Is there a mainstream view, or is it quite sporadic, or?
It tends to be, unless you're at... So I've critically gone after authors who are usually they're throwing their weight around and they're being bullies. I don't tend to hold back with negative reviews of those people. I will get into the nitty-gritty, because those people tend to be bullying other people within the community.
And sorry, when you say bullying there, is that around the kind of the ecosystem of being an author as opposed to the writing, or is it a bit of both?
It kind of both. There are some people who are so certain that they are the next big thing that they will feel confident talking shit to everybody, just being mean to them. They will say things like, "Oh, I'm being bullied," when what actually happened to them was somebody said, "Yeah, their book wasn't as good as the first one. Like, their second book was, and they'll take that as an attack." There are some people that are very, not thick-skinned enough.
Yeah, so it's less about the writing. It's more about the reaction to people commenting on the writing, and that can that can spark something. As it was so in that case, as obviously you read a lot of other people's books, and obviously you would want to see that positive word. And you said there that if you're sent an advanced review copy and you don't have something particularly nice to say, you do keep that to yourself. I'm guessing that's just a kind of an etiquette thing here, where you don't.
Yeah, it's courtesy.
You don't really want to go to town on someone's book and really poo-poo it or whatever.
Especially when I'm finding a book so I can show you really good examples of things I've been sent.
Cool.
But it's kind of the etiquette. You don't, especially if it's someone's debut, you don't rip into it and be like, "This was shit. This should never have been published." You don't do that. You often will say something like, "It's a good first, good first impression of this author. Really excited to see what they do next." That's the politest way. If you're not particularly fond of it, that's the politest way to get around it. Otherwise, you just don't comment on it. Otherwise, you can do what I do, which is I am still hunting for this book. I apologize. These are Tumblr authors, which is why I'm trying to find them. So I have Danny Brin's latest vampire, which is Sell Your Blood. I still owe Danny. Danny, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. I still owe you accolades for this, but it is genuinely wonderful. It is a wonderful vampire novel. And I also have Emma Denny's One Night in the Heartswood. And that is fantastic. I love
They've got really nice covers.
They do. I love these ones. And they're both Tumblr authors who I fully endorse. I'm actually waiting for this one to come out in the US to do my full review. Danny, I'm just late, but I love this book so much. I'm just late giving it for it. But there are books that I have on the other side of here that I'm like, I am never going to speak of them, because if I say anything detrimental, it could end this person's career.
Yeah. And
I'm not big enough that could happen, but I'm big enough on the Tumblr author sphere that if I'm like, yeah, this book's shit, people aren't going to pick it up. I'm not going to do that to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're being a shitheel and they're inviting negative comments, in which case I might look into how they are handling themselves and be like, I have nothing to say about the work, but the way this person is conducting themselves is questionable.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So yeah, is that kind of line between the work itself and then the behaviour of the author.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, the author acting like a dickhead can maybe invite a more critical look at their work than not.
Like when was it Felina Hopkins tried to copyright the word cock or trademark the word cocky, and it's like you can't do that. You can't trademark single words, and also like it was literally the most insane thing ever. Or like when you had Addison Kane trying to be like, oh, I invented Omegaverse fiction, therefore everyone else is copying me. When Omegaverse originated in fandom, I can't even remember. Was it Destiel? I don't know. There was something before Supernatural that had Omegaverse, but she was trying to claim that she was the inventor of heterosexual Omegaverse. And I'm like, that's not a claim you really want to have. That led to people reading her work and ridiculing it because it was indicative of her attitude a lot of the time.
I'm totally going to try and copyright the word notting now, just for the fun of it. That'd be good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Unleash the hordes on me.
You'll get sued by about 4 or 5 litigious authors who that is their bread and butter. But it's
Notting Hill. Yes, it was, yeah.
Notting Hill. But it's that kind of, there is etiquette to it. You know, if Danny had sent me their book and I didn't enjoy it, I would have been like, thank you so much for sending this to me, and then I would not comment on it publicly. I do, however, love it, which means I will be ranting about it at some point because it's fantastic. It's, you know, autistic vampires and chronic pain and all sorts of, you know, my exact bag of like what I like in my romance. So it's, you know, there are ways of doing this, but like writer talk is like the Wild West to me. I deleted my TikTok a long time ago. I had to make one for this video. I had to make one for this deep dive.
We got Joy on TikTok. We got Joy on TikTok. We did it.
And I ended up in writer talk. And
of course,
completely different. It's very separate from how the industry actually works. You have people like Foz Meadows and a couple of others who are knowledgeable, who are published authors, you know, trad, pub, or indie, and they are trying to be like, hey, this is not how this works. And then you have a lot of people that are basically grifters. They're trying to tell you to do things. This is how I do the thing. And it, you know, to me, it's like the bad advice that other people like. There used to be some people on Reddit who are very infamous for giving bad advice so that you would not be competition for them.
Yeah.
So you go and ask advice and they tell you the exact opposite of what you should be doing. And it was basically so that they stayed at the top of the perch.
Sorry, Joy, just briefly, I just tried to look up the bibliosphere on TikTok. I'm hoping that's what you are.
Nope.
All right. Well, it's funny, but it actually returned videos of people who are reading out your Tumblr posts.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
So that's, you've made it.
They get paid to read my Tumblr posts. It's so much fun.
Back to Polly Writes, Polly Pocket,
Pollyanna Writes.
Pollyanna Writes on TikTok. So okay, but that's
the name of PK Mancini. So
there's a little bit of like, see, I'm not sure. So is that just straight up bad advice, right? Obviously, the like it's terrible advice. Do you think it was meant in a very literal, as in like everyone should be doing this, or is it a you lot can do it because it'll make you sound demented, and I won't do it? Do you think it was more of a?
Sorry, I just saw that according to Dragon Saint in the chat, I am a certified highly quotable Tumblrina. Thank you so much.
The funniest thing about Tumblrina was that Twitch Autobot caught Tumblrina as being potentially misogynistic.
Her advice is not individual. She gives it out as if she's speaking to writers in general, as if it's genuinely good advice. And she does that a lot of the time. Like she'll respond. People will send her videos. She'll respond to them, but she speaks in universal terms, and it's always terrible advice. There's been nothing that she said that has actually been good for publishing. It's good for being a social media influencer and general grifter, but it's not good for actually getting into publishing, whether it's trad pub or indie.
Yeah. And is she market as like, is she, I'm guessing she's an author herself, but I think from what I saw
allegedly
of her TikTok, she's very much like it's almost like the social media coordinator of like author talk, where she gives advice for the industry. And you see this quite a lot in things on like Twitch, for example. There is thousands of videos on YouTube of how to become a streamer, right? And I think about 99.5% of them are just utterly dogshit advice that's aimed to, buy my overlay pack and you will start gaining viewers. How to go from 0 to like 1,000 viewers in 30 days. And, it's all this kind of shit.
And we've talked about it before when there's been other writing drama going on, but I've been approached by these kind of social media influencer hubs before, and it's always, we will pay you X amount of money to promote and sell your skills and to basically do a teaching course on how to become a viral author.
Yeah.
That which, they look at what my sales are and they go, well, you must be doing some sort of grift. I'm not, I'm just good at what I do. And I've had a large Tumblr following for 10 years. I had a live journal following before that. I have spent 15 years becoming well known online as a writer for either comedy pieces, shit posts, health advice, disability advocacy. I'm known, and that's why my work does well. It's not because I'm running a grift.
Yeah.
And they fully want, like, they're always trying to say, oh, we'll pay you money to do this, and you'll teach classes on how to do this. And I'm going, okay, but everything that I do, you can, learn about for free. I recommend it all the time. I've blanked on the name just now because I'm talking about it. But I have a post that I read blogs every so often, and it's how to indie pub successfully. And I give you all the stuff for free because the information is available free. You should not be paying me $2,000 to $3,000 for me to give you information that is readily available. Why?
Yeah.
It's so predatory. Why would I do that? Oh, because you want to control the market. You want to have income and make more money from the scam than actually promoting your work.
Yeah, and it comes from the same place of, like, to be honest, it comes from the same place as like pickup artistry, and here is how to get women. Buy my course and you will be irresistible. Buy my course and you will get thousands of pounds. Buy my course and you'll be successful at whatever. And to be honest, I think this links back to the AI conversation we were having before we started the podcast, is that, like, it's very much a world where, oh, if you do this, like, I mean, I was, I see folk who they encourage, like, there's definitely like TikTok videos in the UK that are all around investment property at the moment. And it's like, it's people who are landlords basically telling other landlords how to, like, maximize and extract as much money from their tenants as possible, and how to do it legally, and how to, like, there's a whole kind of cottage industry around, like, educating landlords on how to be even worse than they already are. And the same goes for, like, AI artwork. So it's like, oh, you get AI artwork and then you sell it on Etsy. If you ask ChatGPT to design a calendar for you, you can then just sell that calendar as a PDF on, Etsy or wherever it is that you do it. And that's how you'll earn money. And, you'll occasionally see the YouTube videos where it's like, They always show like a spreadsheet of the money that they've earned, and all they do is click on these spreadsheets throughout the video, and it's a get rich quick thing.
And that's what it is, and that's what this Pollyanna person's doing. This Mancini. I'm going to call her Mancini because that's the name
Mancini.
She's going
okay.
now. But and it's that very kind of follow these steps for success. Girl boss your way to the top. Successful authors do this, and I'm like sitting there like, no, we fucking don't.
That sounded like a robotic voice there. you nailed it. You nailed the TikTok like text to speech there. That was creepy.
Do you know how long I've been on TikTok this week? Do you have any idea how much I hate TikTok? And I've been on it for hours doing research for this.
You're one of us now, Joy. In the squalor.
I know, but the thing is, so this Mancini, she purports to have 30, like, depends on which website you go to. She purports to have 30 years of experience in creativity and writing and script writing. She's fucking my age. How does she have 30 years? So
go on.
Brace yourselves for this. She quotes, so she's like, I've been an actor for, I've got 25 years of acting experience, 30 years depending on which social media site you're looking at. And you're going, great, what is she starred in? What was her first role? And her very first thing that she cites as her experience for being a content creator and creative actor was a beauty pageant she was entered into when she was 6 months old.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Is that how we're categorising experience now, is it? Fucking excellent.
And
what? No. Get fucked. Absolutely no. What the fuck?
I was waiting for that reaction.
I've been I've been a construction worker since I was like, a year old because I got a fucking like wee digger toy. Yeah.
You played with Legos, therefore you're a structural engineer.
Get fucked.
And it goes on like that she has all these years of experience. And it's so weird because a year ago, her TikTok, the Pollyanna Writes TikTok, was presented as somebody who was new to writing, somebody who was new to getting published, who wanted to get started getting published. Fast forward a year, I have 11 years of screenwriting and blah, 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 all this experience. And for just $3,000, I can teach you how to do this too. For $3,000, I can edit your manuscript. And
that is
grift. Credentials.
That is grift fucking central, isn't it?
There's not a single piece of fiction work that she has published.
Yeah.
She has some stuff for Business Insider published, but it's marketing stuff. And she's talking as if it's like, oh, well, I have 10 years of doing nonfiction, therefore I can edit your fiction work. They are completely different skill sets.
Yeah. I mean, like, the one thing that I would say on that is that is a super effective grift. I can see there'll be so many people who jump on board when you're doing I'm getting into a hobby. Here, you can explore how you can get into this as well. And then, like a year on, it suddenly, here's all my experience that I haven't told you about or didn't exist. And here's how you can get good.
It gets more and more bonkers because she offers like I said, it's $3,000 for a 6-week course on how to become a successful author. For context of that, you can do Neil Gaiman's masterclass on fiction writing for $23 a month.
Yeah, I get the feeling that she's probably not got the same experience as Neil Gaiman.
She doesn't have anything published. She has a 600-word short story that's been published. That's her only fiction credentials. She claims to have been a ghostwriter, which admittedly is hard to prove because often, like, I was a ghostwriter. You are made to sign NDAs, which means you can't reveal it. Which you've written for. However, the advice she is giving and the examples of the types of stories she's edited, and she'll go through it and be like, here's an example of bad writing. Here's how I would fix it, and it's just as bad. And I'm like, you don't have experience with this. All of this is redundant. Like, yeah.
That's interesting because I'm wondering if I wonder if it's kind of like an offshoot from like Folding Ideas, who does quite a lot of stuff on like NFTs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did a kind of deep dive into these two guys called the Michelson twins, who
Yes.
basically invented the like they've worked out a grift that you can like pay a ghostwriter to churn out shit and then sell that as an ebook, and you can kind of publish a range of ebooks that you have written, and it's scatterbrained shite. And
It's garbage.
the
Yeah.
ghostwriting aspect of that is obviously taking advantage of people who obviously can't, like, they've got to churn out like 3,000 words a day in order to meet some
Yeah.
of the deadlines. And yeah, and exactly as Mothman's saying in chat, that grift doesn't work. So the grift then becomes selling how to do the grift that no longer works. So I think the Michelson twins now sell the course on how to then use that grift that no longer works.
Yeah. They're selling
Fuck's sake.
multi-level marketing. They're just
It
not
is.
using that language. And that's exactly what Mancini's doing. It's multi-level marketing language. It's very much the girl boss your way to the top of publishing. And there are some people that do that, and they have very successful audiences within their niche. But she's presenting it as, this is universal advice for everyone in publishing.
Yeah.
These are the secrets people aren't telling you about publishing. And everyone that's worked in publishing for the last 30 years is going, what the fuck? Because whatever she is saying is not accurate. Like, her editing, so if I say I was charging you 5 cents per word to edit a manuscript, you would think, so 5 cents a word for like $1,000 manuscript is about 50, whatever it is. 5 cents doesn't sound like much. The industry standard is 0.013 cents per word.
And
sometimes.
she's charging 0.5.
She's not charging.
She's charging 5 cents.
She's charging a whole 5 cents. When
fuck off.
When I worked at the top of my career in mainstream publishing that I was in TradPub, I was earning 0.25 cents per word.
So maybe you can explain to people, me basically, how that works then. So is that you're charging per word changed and edited, or are you charging for, like, if I send you an essay that's 1,000 words and I want you to edit it at that fee, am I basically paying 5 cents for every single word that I've sent you, or only the ones that you edit and change, or how does that work?
If the way it's done, it would be the 5 cents for the full amount of the wordage, because you have to read all of it to make sure it's good.
And that's before you make any suggestions for changes, or is that
is
included?
It depends on what you were doing. If it's a proof, if it's a grammar edit, that's normally the full thing. If you were saying to me, hey, can you like make this sound better? Can you tell me where this is weak? Can you tell me if this needs to be developed further? I would be charging you a different fee, because that would be developmental editing. Which is also something she doesn't make. She doesn't make any distinguishes between developmental, copy, final line, or proofing. All of it's just the same thing, which tells me she doesn't actually know what editing is.
Yeah.
And it's really bizarre to see her. And I think it was it worked out where she's like, oh, this $3,000 is heavily discounted. Like, if you do my package for $3,000, it's a huge discount. But when you actually work out what her rates are, it comes to $3,000 anyway. So she's lying anyway by telling you this is the
it's a discount.
Price.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Okay, so she's got that. So she's got that grift as well. So she's basically building up this kind of social media following on the back of saying that she's a newbie to the industry and is getting in. So I imagine a lot of other newbies are confident in following her and getting tips and advice, and we're all in this struggle together. And then that gets flipped into here's my experience and here's how you can be at my level. And I have the social media following, I imagine, to prove
she's got the clout to back it up.
Yeah. She doesn't have the experience, but has the clout.
Yeah. She got the clout. She got popular because she was making relatable content about being a first-time creator. And then she flipped it into, I have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Again, it is inconsistent. inconsistent across all of her social media how much experience she has.
So what sort of degree does she hold? What does she can she back up that experience tangibly, or is it?
Oh, this is where the notes come in.
Fuck.
She claims to have a double master's in psychology and script writing. That is her claim. But according to her profile on Stage 38, which is another social media kind of freelancer type place, she was only at Grand Canyon University and Full Sails University, which are I think the Full Sails one's kind of notorious for churning out degrees that you just pay for.
Okay.
Her entire time there is from 2010 to 2013. So that's,
Sure.
The length of time most people take to get a bachelor's. She has gotten double masters in completely separate degrees, which require you to have 2 different bachelors.
Right.
And she did that in 4 years because she's obviously a genius.
Yeah. Okay.
It gets worse from there. Do you want to know where else she went to university? Are you ready for this?
Please say Liberty University or something like that. I'll be like, fuck yeah. Go on.
About 10 years ago, she was a professor at Aphrodite University.
Aphrodite? Where's that?
Place where badass bitches become bosses.
Fuck off. That is... What? Fuck. Nah, hold on.
I posted about this earlier with cryptotheism because I was having a stroke. I could feel my blood pressure. I was not good. Holly Mop had to provide compression therapy. It is a multi-level marketing university that focuses around the divine feminine, and you manifest your degree directly from the goddess Aphrodite herself.
No. I'm sorry. You've dragged me along on this journey, Joy. What the fuck does that mean? AphroditeUniversity.org. Wondering if they're your true twin flame or just fool's gold. What the fuck am I... Degree program? Moon rituals. They've got about... programs, degrees, and moon rituals and a contact page. What in the goddamn fuck?
I went into this suspecting just a normal grifter that got into social media influencing. It is insane. It is genuinely, as someone who was in a new age cult and got out, I'm looking at all of this and being like, there's not enough red flags. It is a red flag parade of all the stuff, and her websites all mimic this multi-level marketing girl boss speech.
May I read out their programs?
Sure. Okay. If you want to do that, you can.
I just feel like chat needs to be inflected with this shit if I have to read it as well. So you have the BA program, the year-long Bachelorette in Amor, is designed to help smart spiritual women align and heal their divine feminine and masculine energies, step into self-love and manifest a lasting twin flame union. Whatever that means. You've then got the MA program. The 2-year-long Mistress in Amor degree is also known as our Love Leadership Certification program. Our MA graduates become certified life, love coaches, and twin flame alchemists who help clients balance their feminine and masculine energies, find lasting love, and accomplish their goals. You've got the MBA program. Our year-long business degree, Mistress in Blissness Amor, helps love coaches build their 6 or 7-figure sole purpose-based business from their bliss. And they also have a PhD program. Our 2 to 4 year doctorate in divine feminine healing arts helps women claim their authority as master spiritual teachers and authors who birth their own unique certification programs. Divine feminine universities and or mystery schools. This is a multi-level marketing cult. Jesus. Yeah. Start a twin flame activation session? Oh my god.
There are some people who don't realize that twin flame is a red flag a lot of the time.
What the fuck is that?
So some people think it just means soulmate. It doesn't. Soulmate is someone who is a completely separate soul who you were drawn to. That is your soulmate. A twin flame is a part of your soul that split off and became another person. And you are drawn to each other no matter what. And it can be toxic or it can be wonderful. So you have abusers who are like, oh, we're not soulmates, we're twin flames. That's why we can't get away from each other. And it's used in a lot of it's used a lot in I see it in polyamory circles, and I hate it because it does come from cult stuff. It's very much used by people that don't want you to escape, like oh, you're literally the other half of me. You're literally part of me. You can't leave me because you're literally part of me. So whenever someone says twin flame, I flinch, because even if they don't mean it that way, that is the origin of it. And it is often used by people to be like, oh, that's why I'm drawn to this person. When actually it's just that you have poor impulse control and you need to get away from them. It's a very toxic thing that I do not like. There's no shade to anyone in the chat or on the podcast listening who does believe in manifestation or twin flames, but the origin of it, as someone who escaped a new age cult, it does make me very uncomfortable when people use it. So that's my personal issue with it.
The freakiest thing, so like naturally I couldn't help myself, so I've went and I'm gonna I'm on the book a call, become a twin flame person, and the amount of personal information they capture in a single form. I am not going to do this, by the way, because I'm not insane. But it is genuinely quite creepy. So you get all your kind of general details, your contact information. They ask for your occupation/employment. They ask for your birthday. They ask which are you most urgently interested in: finding your twin flame life partner, growing your soul-aligned business, or becoming a certified love coach or twin alchemist. On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to calling in your twin flame beloved? Calling in? Is that a term?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to calling in your twin flame beloved in the next 12 months? 1 is not committed at all, and 10 is I'm 100% committed. Yeah. Tell me briefly about your dating love life history. Briefly describe the ways you're working on attracting your twin flame right now. What's your desired relationship outcome? Being 100% honest, what do you think is stopping you? The more specific you're here, the faster we'll get you clarity during our call. If you found a perfect fit mentorship program that you truly felt would attract your twin flame, is there anything that would stop you from signing up today? If finances are the issue, what is your monthly mentorship budget? The first range is $0 to $250 a month.
And I am going to point out, as Tundra has asked, we need a disclaimer that people who join cults aren't insane. No, they're not. They're often very vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And it's that kind of, it looks insane to us because you look at it and go, why would you ever be part of that? As someone who was part of it from a very young age, it was because people in my life were vulnerable. They were looking for answers. People were willing to give it to them, and they did it in a way that spoke to them. Yeah. That's how that happens.
I think where I was coming with that is like the sheer amount of personal information they ask for before an initial meeting is a giant red flag. But
also, if you're a spiritual guru, how come you can't figure that out from talking to me? Was always a thing. Yeah, that was always a thing with like the psychic people that we used to hang about with when I was a kid. It was literally, oh, give us all this information. And I'm like, well, surely if you're psychic, you know.
Yeah. Are you willing to use a credit card, PayPal credit, or loan if you feel that's what you need? That's one of the questions they ask on this form.
Are you willing to go into debt for this?
Yeah. And holy shit, you will be going into debt for this. Yeah. So, yeah. Yep. Credit, will you max out a credit card for this? Because obviously, if you're buying into this, they will be able to say that they have supplied the service, even if you are not lucky in finding your twin flame or whatever the hell they call it. Like,
it's also something else that Pollyanna talks about. Yeah.
We gave you the toolkit, therefore it's only what you make it yourself. This is horrifying. Jesus Christ.
So this is the model from which Mancini bases how to publish. This is her understanding of how the world works. She uses the language on her own website. She uses it when she's speaking. She offers to get your novel traditionally published. She will write it for you. She will get it traditionally published for $20,000. She will do all the grunt work. She will query your stuff for you. You don't have to write it. And but there's no guarantee it will be a success. So you're investing $20,000 into her skill as a writer, which, by the way, is questionable. Again, like there was examples on Foz Meadows' TikTok of the kind of writing style that she was showing. To me, it was very high school. It was not somebody that's been in the industry for a long time. It's not someone that has any editing experience. The stuff that she was offering, if she was offering to write a book, to get it published by Tradpub was $20,000. She'd go on query for you. She'd do all your your agents and stuff. And if it didn't get picked up, well, too bad. The story just wasn't good enough based on the premise you submitted to her. And the thing is, agents hate this because agents are like, they don't deal with ghostwriters. Ghostwriters are typically involved with publishers and editors when a successful book series, the author's not interested anymore. So you have generic big name author doesn't want to do their series anymore, but it's a cash cow, so the publisher doesn't want to give it up. You find ghostwriters who can mimic that style to a certain degree, and they will continue the series under that author's name.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, when it might have changed now, I did not earn $20,000 per book that I ghost wrote. Absolutely not.
No.
But the ghostwriter does not query the book for you. If she's doing that, if she's putting all that work in, she should be publishing her own work. So why doesn't she have any published work? Yeah. If she can write a novel and query it, why is she not published? Why is she doing this for other people?
And this is kind of where these things start to unravel, because like you're introducing a lot of kind of almost like back of house what authors need to know in order to try and get their books published, which to your average lay person, me, I don't know much about the business aspect of getting a book published. And I imagine that vagueness and lack of kind of common knowledge is probably where she makes her money, because she can talk about these kind of terms, and she knows enough about the industry to kind of talk about them and present it in a way that she's the go-to person for this, when the reality is she doesn't have any backing.
The stuff that she talks about, it makes it clear to anyone who's been publishing adjacent, makes it aware that she doesn't actually know what she's talking about. Like, we're going to sue reviewers for not posting on time. What?
Yeah.
We're going to sue them if it gives us a bad reputation. No, how? How are you going to enforce that?
Well, not just that, but also, like, how is that a good look for any author? Like, that would be, like, even if it was a completely legitimate way of, like, let's say someone didn't honour a contract and you did go for them, like, randomly suing people who don't write nice things about your book is, like, ridiculous behaviour. Like, it wouldn't work. I mean, it's a way to immediately get all of your future books not reviewed by anyone, because no one will put their hand up and be like, I'll do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, she's like, I'm giving you information that's not out there. That's a lie.
Yeah.
I post about this all the time. There's a book by David Cochran, I think is his last name, called Let's Get Digital. And it's entirely free. And he updates it whenever the industry changes, because he wants to, people to learn how to do these things. I'll put it in the chat, actually. But all this information he gives it for free. He updates it regularly. That's how he makes his money, and he does it by giving good advice.
Yeah.
A lot of us in the industry give the advice for free because we want to build community.
Yeah.
And it's such a, I'm giving you the inside scoop. Fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately,
I'm charging you $3,000 for it.
Yeah. And it's whenever these people come to me, they're from these social media influencer hubs, they're like, we want you to present this as exclusive information. That's why I made the post that I did, where I was like, fuck you, here's everything you need to publish a book indie style.
Yeah.
And I did it with links, I did it with resources, and I'm like, I'm not going to gatekeep information that's out there, but it can just be daunting to Google because there's so many conflicting things.
There's a lot, like, I feel like because we live in a very digital world, you know, publishing is obviously not immune to any of that at all. But as I was saying earlier, you know, the amount of YouTube videos on how to be a good streamer and things like that comes up all the fucking time, and a lot of them, they're like professional neggers. They really are good at like properly taking someone down. You like, this is the reason why you're getting no views on Twitch. This is, you know, you're not doing this. Is your audio is shit. You're, you know, and they put these as like kind of punchy thumbnails. You know, oh, your content isn't fun, and so people are kind of drawn. It's like, you know what does make your content fun? Having a cool overlay. Why don't you go and buy my premium pack? It's only $30, and you know, get people who are like, you know, just getting into streaming. Maybe they're like 16, 17, 18, and they are wanting to try and put their first kind of thing out there. You know, they've only just started streaming, and you know, they're being told to buy all of this shit that they don't need. I hate, like, obviously I started streaming when I was just sitting in front of an Xbox, and I didn't even have a camera for like a good part, and it was really just about streaming. I feel like if I was to try and start streaming now, there's so much conflicting information out there to actually get on board and do it, that it's easy that some people kind of attach themselves to these grifters who portray themselves as experts, but really they're just flogging you stuff the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So what's came out of this? Is it really just everyone's been doing a deep dive about I keep on forgetting her name. I keep on saying Polly Pocket. It's not Polly Pocket. It's
Pollyanna Writes on TikTok.
Pollyanna Writes.
PK Mancini.
PK Mancini. Okay.
Yeah, and it's garbage. But you know, there's people just doing deep dives on why her information is so terrible and why it's so predatory. And the thing is, she's getting community around it because she has the younger demographic of writer talk going, oh, this person's popular, they must know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Like, that's, you know, you can have someone that's popular and they're just talking shit the whole time, which is unfortunately what she's doing with her platform.
2023, Joy Demora takes TikTok. You're going to have to be one of these people now. You'll be a guiding light for the youth.
I'm staying on Tumblr where where
the cool people are.
Yeah. If someone wants to read out my publishing post on TikTok, have at it. Do your thing. I'm not interested in that world because, I mean, I probably will do something with it at some point, but I'm not interested in being a social media influencer. I am an author.
Yeah.
The only thing I am trying to sell you are my books and maybe, you know, merchandise at some point. I have a Patreon to support me because it lets me write more. I'm actually getting into posting on Patreon again, hopefully this year, and doing some other stuff. I offer, you know, my access to my Discord where I do body doubling sessions, which are useful for people with ADHD and other neurodivergencies. But I don't turn around and say, "Oh, that's $3,000 for a session for these things." And
you get the premium package for $3,000.
And the thing is, if someone asks me a question about publishing, I will answer them for free, and I will do it honestly. And I will also be honest and say, I don't know. You should ask so and so. Because like she talks about screenwriting and novel writing as if it's the same thing. I have no idea how to write a screen novel, like a screenplay. It's not a skill set I have. You know, but she frames it as the only way your work's going to get turned into a best-selling movie is if you do the screenplay yourself. That's not how this works. That's how none of the industry works. Is that just even the way she talks about editing? She does not know the difference between the types of edits. And it's abundantly clear, and it's so galling that she's getting people to pay her $3,000 for subpar work.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that I would ever... But there have been times when I have worked on something and the final bill has been $3,000 because of the amount of time I've put into it and the level of editing. It's usually been developmental. I've usually handheld the person for about 2 years at that point.
Mm.
I'm never going to turn around and say, yeah, it's $3,000 for a 6-week crash course on how to be like me, because there's no way anyone can replicate what I do.
Yeah.
And marketing companies can't do it either. That's why they're trying to get me to become a shill for them. You know, the whole, teach us how to become marketable on Tumblr. Fuck off. There's no way to teach that. You just have to be
there's
there.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't set out to do that. It just happened. And it's just a part of, having fun stories that people relate to. And then I'm told people stuck around because they like me. And that's very lovely. And they like what I do and they like what I write. And that's how I do it. But I don't treat my audience as something that I can take for all their worth in terms of money. Like, I am notorious for underpricing all my novels because I'm like, I want to make this affordable. At one point, I was earning negative money because I felt so bad about increasing the prices of my paperbacks. I would not survive 10 minutes on Writer Talk and some of the scams these people are pulling because it's just not in me.
Yeah.
And it galls me so hard when there's these people that are just taking advantage of young, vulnerable people who just desperately want success. They want to have something to show for their hard work. And unfortunately, they're throwing away money on someone who's just there to take their money, and they don't actually have the credentials or qualifications to help them. It's really sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm guessing her... Like, I'm guessing, unfortunately, her grift is continuing. But I suppose, and this is the thing, if a grifter, they're a bit like Icarus. If they fly a little bit too close to the sun, they end up getting, kind of a little bit more awareness than they probably want. They want to get viral within their kind of wee community to capture more people in, but there'll be a lot of people who go, this is utter dog shit now. And I imagine the grift will now be challenged a bit more vocally. You said that you were doing a bit of research into it, and a lot of people who are making content about how wrong she is.
And it's
that's not going to go away now
for a long time. She's basically going to be known as a grifter now within Writer Talk. And because of this, it's brought to light all of her other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you went to the University of Aphrodite to become a priestess of Aphrodite, a high priestess professor of Aphrodite.
Sorry, just to be crystal clear here, you manifest your degree from Aphrodite herself, is the premise of this.
Yes, but you still pay the university $5,000 for it.
See, this, I mean, these kind of weird universities, they probably do exist in the UK, but I imagine it's a bit more regulated here. But, the fact
Slightly more.
You receive an MBA or a doctorate from this, I mean, what the fuck? If you get a PhD from the University of Aphrodite, do you legally get to change your title to PhD? That's... What? I hate it here. It is
honestly mind-breaking. It's very disheartening that and then these people use it as a way to basically just be like, oh, I have these qualifications, that's why I have my own small business. And it's like, as someone who also has their own small business, this is a scam. The way they are doing it is a scam. They are not registered properly. They don't have the proper certifications. I mean, my certificate, my qualifications for publishing are probably outdated by now, but I know enough to get by. I was qualified by Publishing Scotland, which is an official publishing body.
Yeah.
And you can trace that. I have the credentials. I have my university credentials. I have the history. And I still don't have the gall to be like, yeah, I will read your novel for $3,000 and tell you if it's shit or not. A manuscript assessment from me is about $25 to $50 depending on the length.
Yeah.
And that's so I can decide, that's so I can let you know, hey, this is just fine, you just need final line, or hey, you need some copy, or hey, you need developmental. That's why we do that, so that we can assess what level of work you have and what you can afford. There's some people that need developmental that can only afford copy, therefore you only do copy for them. That's the way it works. But in publishing, like if you were going through indie, to TradPub instead of indie, that would be done for you. And a lot of the stuff that she's suggesting fixes for are things that your editors in TradPub would fix anyway. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't get your work as best as it can be. I'm just saying don't get it from her, because the examples that she gives of her writing ability is terrible. It is high school levels of don't say said. Don't, it's very much limited. It's very much, kind of juvenile. Here's how I write, and you should write the way I do because I know what I'm doing. And it's like, that's not how writing works. Everyone has their own individual style. Everyone has their own voice. Yes, there are grammatical rules and errors that you have to look at, but there's no universal advice that will work for this is a surefire way to become a bestseller, because fucking publishing houses can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't, we've talked about it before. After they get people on the New York Times lists, which they often pay for, they're lucky if those authors sell a couple of hundred books a year. It's like absolutely bonkers that she thinks that she knows better than actual publishing houses and indie writers who, we have our own business, we do our own things, and everything she says contradicts what we do. And she puts things behind paywalls that are readily available for free, and I hate that so much. Hate it.
Sorry, I'm just quickly checking something. Sorry, I was listening to all of that at the same time I was staring in horror at the fucking Aphrodite University thing once again. I'm curious about that. So the woman in charge of Aphrodite University is Dr. Amanda Noel, who,
yes,
in her biography, isn't a doctor. Like, she's doctor, like DR. She's not like doctor as in PhD. She's doctor, and she's doctor of transpersonal counselling, apparently. But received a BA in sexuality studies from Duke University, which Duke is a relatively prestigious university. Okay, right, that's fair. But yeah, produces the people that go and invent dog shit universities. Nah, I hate it.
Yeah, it's very, the idea that you can manifest your degree from the goddess herself to follow your bliss and divine feminine energy. How is it not evidently a scam? How is it not multi-level marketing? Because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because you're not learning how to sell your books. You're learning how to sell other people on the scam of how to, I will teach you how to become a successful author, but first I'm going to teach you how to sell other people onto this. That's what that is.
Yeah. Sorry, I need to rip myself away from this fucking site. They have a YouTube video called Twin Flame Trauma Bonds.
Yeah, it's great. It's not super predatory at all, or anything to do with my childhood trauma. Don't watch it, for the love of God.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I need to. I'm closing the tabs. That was, I didn't erase it from my history. Yes. I was like, my targeted advertising is going to be so fucked for months now. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Are we done with this?
I think we're done. That is the drama for now.
Until next time, at least.
Yeah.
Because there will be more.
Happens, because she's still posting. She's still coming away with hot takes and being like, "I never said that. You imagined it." So it's very much, there will be more from this person, undoubtedly. If anyone is interested, Foz Meadows on Twitter and TikTok is doing the deepest dives that I've seen so far. They are very good at what they do. I've followed Foz for a while. And it's just very kind of eye-opening. Because I avoid TikTok and having to see all this. I'm like, wow, there is a whole bunch of people that have no idea that this is not how publishing works.
Just you wait until you get on to like food talk, like where people are like cooking like good shit. I can scroll for a while. And yes, we've got Greytree in chat, who's a TikTok advocate, very much a TikToker.
It's not good for my ADHD because I will sit and scroll for hours and it's not good. So I'm probably going to put it on my iPad and not my phone because I don't really use the iPad that much. I use it when I'm editing mostly. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Sorry, Gray, you're going to need to rewatch like the whole first half of this podcast. We have just been going deep dive into book talk drama. Like, we've been talking about everything, and it's fucked. However, you have driven yourself into a bit of a hole this week, Joy, researching all of that. I, however, got the fun homework.
You did.
And in fairness, it's about, I think, Joy, you were saying before, I got the fun people pretending to be who they're not. You got
the real people pretending to be who they're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to watch Spy. Is it Spy X Family or is it Spy Family?
I usually just call it Spy Family because Spy X Family trips me up.
That's fair.
But it's kind of we're talking Spy Family. Yeah, that's the next one. They're not so much grifters, but they are pretending to be other people, and it's really just fun. So that's what we're talking about now. We're saving my sanity with Spy Family.
Yeah. So I knew nothing about this going in. I was told to watch it. Very much encouraged. And I don't watch a lot of anime normally. It's not really my go-to. But I really like Spy Family. I think it's really well done. It's just so interesting, and it's very, very funny. Like, there's something to be said about the comedic timing of anime in particular. I don't know if it's from the ability of like the frame by frame change in how characters are drawn and their facial expressions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the wee lassie can come out with some fucking funny lines.
Anya is probably one of my favourites. She's just so expressive but she's so little. Like, she's a really well done kid.
Yeah. She's like 6 really or something, isn't she?
She's 4?
Is she?
She's actually 4, but she pretends to be 6 so she can get into school.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Those of you who aren't aware what it is, shall I read the synopsis?
Yes, go for it.
So people can get for it. Okay, so Twilight, who is a secret agent, is assigned possibly his hardest mission yet, Operation Strix. As part of his mission, he needs to marry and have a child in order to get close to his target, Donovan Desmond. He ends up adopting Anya, a telepath, and marrying Yor, an assassin. However, all of them are hiding their identities from each other. To complete the mission, Twilight needs to get Anya enrolled into a prestigious Eden Academy so that she can get close to the target's son, Damien Desmond. To do that, Anya will need to become an Imperial Scholar by earning 8 stellar stars. But the real challenge for Twilight, though, is making sure that she doesn't get Toronto's bolts and gets expelled. So it's found family meets fake dating meets fake parent dynamic. It's just all of my favourite things.
Yeah, it's such a good premise to set it. And I do like how the world doesn't take itself too seriously. And yeah, I think Mothman makes a really good point. It's not set in Germany, but the city that they're in is called Berlin.
Yes.
Berlin with a T. And I think that obviously there's a dark element of this. The world setting is like the show itself isn't that serious at all. They always kind of save the day, and they're like, everything tends to be fine for the most part. But it's like set in, I want to say it's almost like the 40s. You've very much got like. Yeah, you've got modern technology.
It's like if the Cold War was happening in Paris and Berlin.
Yeah.
You're in the age of spies. You're in the age of it's a fun one. It's a really kind of like interesting kind of.
But you've got
European
Yeah.
1940s, 1950s look.
But you've got like the secret police who are obviously doing like awful things. You've got like all these kind of societal issues that are like kind of hinted at slightly, but then you've got this like really fucking funny story overlaid on the top of it. Like I love that he was just able to wander into an orphanage and just pick a child.
Yeah.
And like the person who ran the orphanage just wasn't interested in any paperwork or any proof or anything. It was just like, do you want a kid? And Anya, who is a telepath and can just read the mind of both Twilight and Yor, who comes in a little bit later, because in the first episode you're introduced to Twilight and you get that relationship with Anya going, and he pretends to be a widower, and he's raising this child by himself that he's adopted, and like that's quite endearing because she's delighted to have a family, and didn't enjoy being in the orphanage. And then Yor comes in, who's a professional assassin, but is absolutely not a family person and really struggles to fit the role.
The social norms. Yeah, she's really outside of like that kind of like. I always think of her as like a little bit autistic sometimes because she misses so many social cues and she's very much kind of like oblivious to certain things. Like some people will say things to her and she takes them so literally that she panics. And you're just like, yeah, that's a neurodivergent feel for me. That's very much a kind of like, is this person joking or are they serious?
Yeah.
Like she hides her assassination job behind a government service job. So she's pretending to be like a civil servant, and she's surrounded by all these catty women who are all married, and they're all like, "Oh well, you're not married, so there must be something wrong with you."
Yeah, and, it's like you're coming up for 30. You're going to be like a left behind girl, and and then she she arrives at this party, and it's the first time that Twilight and her have kind of agreed that they're going to be a couple, and Twilight kind of bursts in and being like, "Oh yeah, my wife," and she's shocked. But like
they agreed to be, but she agreed. They agreed that she would pretend to be his wife so that he could get Anya into the school.
Yeah,
and then she agreed that for her party he'd be the boyfriend, and he gets the storylines mixed up because he's concussed.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's about them kind of like feeling their way. I think what makes the dynamic so fun is that Anya, as the little child telepath, knows exactly that Twilight is a spy and also knows that her mum's an assassin and knows that the two of them don't know, but she also doesn't want to reveal she's a telepath. So like, she'll be standing outside the room and Yor the mum will be like, "Oh, don't go in there." I think that's one thing the narrative does really well is it's constantly communicating their thoughts at the same time. It's not just everything that it's said. It's like you're constantly hearing their kind of internal monologue, which obviously Anya can hear, and that's what makes it pretty fun.
So you'll hear like Lloyd having a master plan in his head. He's all serious. And he's like, "Yes, I will do whatever it takes for the mission. I will blah blah blah." And then you cut to Anya just staring up at him, and she's like, "Papa's a liar." It's for a good reason.
He's a really good liar.
Yeah, but it's a really good way of getting that exposition in and using Anya as the tool for that exposition.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like you're just getting info dumped on.
Yeah, so Dragon's saying in chat saying like Anya has a sideline in subtly sicking her parents on bad people, and that does come into it quite a bit. I'd say like there's quite a lot of Anya wanting to help Twilight in his mission and kind of doing so indirectly. There's quite a good scene early on where they see a bag snatcher rob an old woman, and I think Anya points at like a food store where like the guy's disappeared into a crowd, and as a telepath she like isolates his thoughts and like is able to detect where he is in the crowd, so points Twilight in the direction, and he kind of does this leaping dive and tackles him, and so she kind of learns that she can operate in that way, and it's good fun.
She's also a very realistic child. She's very manipulative with her powers, but that's what she's been kind of implied that's what she's been trained for. But then she's also just straight up a 4-year-old. Like, there is no time when I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's a 4-year-old, because it's not that kind of like. I think with some animes, there's that tendency to make the children like superhuman and like super grown up when they've gone through what she goes through, and they've kept her very innocent. They've kept her very young, and it's that kind of like you have Lloyd parenting his inner child through her. Because you also get Lloyd's backstory, because he was an orphan of the war. He never got to be a child. He got recruited into the spy industry from as a very young child. And you get to see him kind of parenting his inner child through her, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's genuinely so nice to see.
And I love, like, I think this is the kind of brilliance, I suppose, of how anime works, is like, there's so many scenes where, like, and there's so many episodes where they can just, like, have a bit of fun with the setting. Like, there's one where they go to an aquarium, and it's this penguin park, and, like, one of the penguins has had like codes stashed in his mouth, and Anya is able to like read the penguin's mind, having a sore throat, and points it out to Lloyd. But they're also trying to maintain the premise of them being a family the entire time. So they have like neighbors who are like, oh, he's out the house. He always comes home late. Maybe he's cheating, and like, or when she's coming out after assassinating someone, oh, there's something not quite right about this family, and how they then try and like overcompensate by doing like these kind of grand family things that always ends up going totally fucking haywire. And like, I think I love how, like, again, I kind of want to say it's an anime thing, but it's like they don't take any of the characters seriously. One of my favourite ones is like one of the teachers at the school, one of the headmasters, or like kind of the upper echelons of the school. Like, his whole thing is he rewards elegance. And his whole thing is just like, that was a very elegant thing to do. It's just how that feeds into like the plot is just fucking fun. It's really hard to talk about without having like all of the examples, but it's some of the stuff that comes away. I've been sitting pissing myself laughing at some of the lines. It's like, honestly, it gets like a really good laugh. So I would really recommend it if anyone's interested in that.
It's, for anyone not aware, it is Mothman's favourite thing. That's why he's in chat, vibrating, wanting everyone to... His entire Tumblr is either reblogging my posts of Hollymop or Spy Family. Because it's like his first like fandom thing that he's just like, yes, like he wants them to get together and all sorts of stuff. It's so good. They're so good.
One of the episodes that I've been watching recently is that so Yor, who is the assassin, has started to arrive later and later after work every day, but it turns out that she's constantly the bad cook in the family. Like, Anya and
straight up poisons people
like constantly. And I think Anya says that she didn't like she didn't like Yor's cooking, and she gets like she really internalizes it and is like super worried that Lloyd is gonna like fake divorce her because she's not a good cook, so goes to cooking classes and convinces one of the catty women to try and teach her how to cook. And there's episodes of like her basically poisoning them over and over again. We haven't talked about Yor's brother, which is like, and it's weird because like it's quite a cutesy and innocent like series in general, right? But it's got this like quite steep adult angle to it, I would say at times. That I imagine if you're watching it as a kid, it's probably quite funny and endearing, but it's really quite creepy when you're watching it as an adult, because Yor's brother is a member of the secret police and is actively hunting Twilight. And he comes over and doesn't quite get the fake family thing, but absolutely hates Twilight, who goes under the name Lloyd Forger. They're the Forgers. The whole family are the Forgers. And yeah, Joy, maybe you can comment a wee bit on your brother. He's Yuri, I think his name is.
Yuri is very... he's ridiculous, but he's also kind of a little bit insidious. He has this very kind of close relationship with Yor because Yor raised him.
Yeah.
So he's got this very protective, no one can live up to, no one's good enough for her. Nobody's good enough for her, especially not Lloyd, this person who just showed up with a kid and now his sister's married. And he's very much like, the idea of my sister kissing this man.
Yeah, being
so
with this man.
he can't handle it.
It's a bit strange, and like I've noticed that every single time I think they lean into it a little bit, like they kind of show the ridiculousness of it, but there is this kind of weird. What I'm gonna say is probably a bit of an incestuous angle where like he's very, very defensive and like wants to be.
He's very possessive.
He's possessive, but he wants praised.
Yeah.
He wants her to say, "I love you, Yuri," and like there's a bit like his internal monologues can get a little bit strange. Because like I've just watched an episode where he comes over to like tutor Anya, and there's a whole bit in his kind of like internal monologue where he's like. He's only tutoring Anya because he wants his sister to like praise him for doing it, and it's just a little bit like don't know.
As people in the chat are saying, it's apparently very typical of anime siscon. So it's that kind of that it is an anime trope where you have a very obsessive, creepy brother. I think.
Yeah, no. As someone with a sister, that gives me the fucking ick. It gives me it's like absolute ick. Just not bulk. Absolutely minging. No, hate it. Like I suppose like that's the thing. I mean, a lot of anime tropes. I mean, like I suppose the only other kind of anime that I've watched up until this point is kind of Studio Ghibli. If you can you call that anime? Is that anime? Does that count? I don't know. I mean,
it's animation.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was watching. I've decided I'm rewatching Spirited Away. I remember watching it once, like a couple of years ago, and it was the first time I'd watched Studio Ghibli stuff, and I just like really, really liked it. I remember when everyone was talking about Studio Ghibli, and I think it was when it was put on. Okay, Miyazaki would throw a fit if you called Ghibli movies anime. That's fair. Okay, in that case, that doesn't count, and I don't watch anime otherwise because
it's animation, but it's not anime.
Yeah, because you can't call Avatar The Last Airbender anime. I fell into that trap as well. I don't know many animes, to be honest. I mean, like, I'm guessing Death Note counts as an anime. There's going to be anime homework, isn't there? Cowboy Bebop, is that anime? Does that count?
You're asking the wrong person. You should have Mothman on for this, because that's his shtick, not mine.
Next week's Ice Sphere, choice away suspiciously.
He got me into Spy Family so that we could watch an anime together, because it's not my favorite genre of thing to watch.
So I would,
like I think you'll like Spy Family, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and I'm immediately obsessed.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh, this is actually really good.
Yeah, and like I think this is my concern, because I feel like I've watched Spy Family, and I feel like that's kind of like the upper tier of what anime has to offer. It's all downhill from here. a little bit concerned that like there's going to be stuff that's like I've got a mate who's like, I think he's subscribed to like, I think they call it Crunchyroll. Is that the anime watching platform? And like
it is.
But it's not. It's just not something that I would regularly watch. I have seen a couple of things on Netflix, but like it was Studio Ghibli that kind of got me into. I love the style, and to be honest, I think that's another thing that you can give Spy Family a lot of credit for, is the actual art direction and the style of the world is very nice. It's quite like I immediately saw that between the kind of relation between something like Spy Family and like Howl's Moving Castle. It's the same, like, nice architecture. It's very kind of European inspired.
It's very, so this is a accessibility thing for me. It doesn't give me motion sickness, which a lot of other animes do, because they're so fast. There's so much blur motion, and I really struggle with that, which is one of the major reasons I don't watch it.
Yeah.
So it's nice for me because it has its fast paced moments, but they're not done in a way that leaves the viewer dizzy. Because that's a big issue I have with a lot of them. I will watch some of them, and because of my specific brand of like vertigo and eye problems I have, I get very dizzy watching them. Spy Family is nice. I can watch Spy Family in bed and I'm fine. But I think it feels like I'm holding on to the walls.
Yeah. I think that's something the Spy Family does pretty well. Like I was saying earlier, that like see the moment to moment, like, and this is back to the comedic timing stuff, but like from a frame by frame perspective, like the facial animations like snapping instead of having like, you know, tons of movement is quite good. And like some of the, like one of my favorite, I'm not sure if it's like a trope or anything, but see when like Anya gets really excited, there's an adoption, there's like all the pet adoption, which is like this really cute bit where she's like, you see her and she's basically teleporting, and it's like they do it a couple of times. I think they do it at the aquarium as well, when she's really excited and like her character will just like basically teleport like throughout a scene to like spectate all the things in that scene. I don't know.
It shows the rapid movement of like a child going helter skelter for something.
Yeah,
and it almost feels like when you blink, the child is gone. That's almost what it feels like, and it works really well for her character.
Yeah, it works really well for her character, but like even from like an animated perspective, it's like you don't actually see her run from point A to point B. She teleports, and it's like that kind of snappy animation where it's like from a frame by frame perspective, she's in one location and then she's in another, and you don't need to see all the little movements to get her to the other one. It is exactly right, Dragon saying in chat. It beautifully conveys a kiddo getting the zoomies. It is. Also, I really like the animals in Spy Family. All of
they've also got a psychic dog.
Yes, they have that can tell the future or can see the future, and as a telepath, Anya can read the dog's mind and see what the dog's seeing, which is quite funny because she ends up using it to defuse a bomb or to warn people that there's a bomb because she can like see what the dog sees, which is cool. But yeah, it's wonderful. Like it's generally like it's a real shame that it's not available in a lot of the like none of the UK like streaming things have it at all. And to be honest, it was really difficult to find online. I know that you obviously helped with the links there, but like there was a Netflix link. I'm guessing it's available on Netflix in the US.
It's not Netflix here; it's Hulu.
Oh right, okay.
Which is, unless it's changed, but we can watch it on Hulu with it, which Hulu just got absorbed by Disney Plus, so that'll be gone soon, unfortunately. But we can watch the dubs there. I think it's the dubs at least. But yeah, it's pretty hard to find it elsewhere, which is just a shame because it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I've started reading the mangas because I want to know more.
Yeah,
I'm fully invested. I want to know. I want to be ahead of it. And the second season's coming out this year, and a film.
And a film. Oh, that'll be cool. Nah, that's I've not finished the second part of the season yet, so I'm on like chapter 18 or something, or mission 18, because each episode's a mission, which is quite funny. And I like how there's episodes that focus on each of the characters as well. Like sometimes you'll have an episode, and each episode's like 25 minutes. So it's not like super long, but sometimes you'll get like a full episode devoted to like Anya like at school, like solving a very school problem. So you've got all the kids. The one thing I would say is that like I'd say whoever's dubbing Anya is pretty good, but there's there is this kind of I don't know how the child based like Japanese, how it's like originally recorded, I imagine comes across as like a little bit different, but like see the kind of child pronunciation on some of the dubs, I'm like, it proper grates with me. Not Anya's. I think Anya's is pretty good, but there's like I think it's like, is it Damien? Damien's
Damien's
hench classmates.
His hench, Neil and Ewan are his henchmates.
And they speak with that like kind of nerdy, mean guy, young school student child accent. Is the only way I can describe it.
It's very mean American bully.
Yeah.
It's that kind of like way of talking. It's very kind of like nasal, very kind of like hello fellow cool kids type thing.
Yeah.
But again, they're playing into the trope of that. Like they're supposed to be these kind of comical, not quite villainous characters, but they're definitely antagonists in that sense.
Yeah.
But I also think he's exaggerated that way to show that Anya is much younger than them and she's lying to fit in. Yeah. Again, she's 4 and they're all like 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And she's been expected to be like seen as a peer for them, and she's very babyish compared to them, but she sometimes comes away with like, you know, she's seen as very like underachieving, and they're like, well, how did she get in? Well, it's because she's psychic.
Yeah.
You know, and she does actually study. Like when Lloyd helps her to study, she does do okay, but it's, you know, she's still a 4-year-old doing stuff that, you know, a 6-year-old is supposed to be doing, and that's quite if you've never been around small kids, that's a big leap.
It's a massive leap. It's like something is. I mean, I wouldn't say that fractions are particularly fun in the best of times, but like a 6-year-old learning about like what a third is. Like there's a bit where she's learning about, I think it's like 1/8, and she can only like refer to it with like 1/8 of the bullets that are like, she watches a spy program on telly, and it's like, you know, he's spent 1/8 of his bullets. Is how she makes the connection. But yeah, like she's super young, and she gets by reading minds a lot of the time, including when she's studying, because a lot of the time she's reading Twilight's mind when he's thinking of the answer, and then giving her that answer. Because there's the bit when Yor's brother comes in, and she gets it 100% right, because he's just thinking what the answer is every single time. Mm-hmm. And then she has to like dial it back. Also, and Mothman's just wrote Lloyd's name. Lloyd being spelt like that got me. I pissed myself laughing when I saw that the first time. I just thought it was like, it's so deliberate. I've never seen Lloyd spelt like that. Is it spelt like that normally? I don't know, actually. Normally it's LLOYD, right?
Yeah.
That's how I would spell Lloyd normally. And I love that, like, this is so obviously a fake name. It's just LOID, which I thought was fucking hilarious.
Apparently it was a name. 1923. It was Americans respelling the Welsh.
Okay.
Which I could see.
Yeah, maybe.
But again, not that popular. You know, the more common one is Lloyd, LLOYD, the Welsh, the actual proper Welsh.
Yeah.
The actual Welsh would be LLWYD would be how they would actually spell it. But when you type in Lloyd, you know, you get a couple of results, and then it's just spy family.
Yeah. And I do like that their surname's Forger as well. That's good. I think, you know, it's one of those things I'm probably going to get to the end of it and then want to restart it again. Because I was watching this as homework for this, and then I was like, I really want to watch this with Jessica because I know that she'd be buckled at some of the dumb shit that comes out of it. I love how each character has like such defined quirks, which I know is maybe quite standard in the anime world. But like, you can really, you like each of them kind of equally. You're not really like rooting for, like, I don't root for Twilight to succeed in his mission over like you're doing an assassination. And they don't compete often. You want them all to win,
and you also want them to all find out about each other, so they can actually just quit their jobs and become a family on the run. That's where I'm at.
I like that a lot of the time Anya goes, Mummy and Daddy are flirting, and both of them get really fucking embarrassed by it. Because like they're learning to act like a family, so they're helping each other out with the dishes, and they're doing all the kind of family stuff to give this appearance of, because they're both still trying to hide The job Dehis in chat, the slow burn of the Your Twilight ship is killing me. It is good.
I love slow burn. I am the queen of
Yeah.
slow burn. I am here for it every inch. It is all my favorite tropes. It was literally when Mothman was like, "You need to watch this anime." I was kind of like, "Eh." He's like, "It's found family," and I was like, "All right." It's fake marriage. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fake parenting. And I was just like, okay, fine, I'll watch it.
Sign me up.
Immediately on board with all of it.
I actually saw a post on Tumblr the other day that was like it was a legitimate question for everyone. Would you, like, if you were asked, would you ever be in a fake relationship? And I think it was like 88% were like, yeah, fuck yeah, sign me up for that. It's a great laugh. But no, it's a really good trope and it's done well. I liked, so one of the best episodes is like the preparation for the exam, like the entrance exam for the school. So they have to go in as a family, and the school's very, very prestigious. And you know, like it's not just about the kid. We want to make sure the family's a right fit as well. And on the way in, nobody who's like, if you have any like dirty clothes or whatever, you don't get into the school. You don't get to be part of this kind of entrance
You're
exam.
not elegant enough.
And I think they have like 4 outfit changes, like, because they've came so prepared for this exam that, like, I think one of them steps in a puddle when they're trying to save this like small kid who's trapped in a drain, and they've got a quick change for that.
And then there's the wild animals that start a rampage, and the school. So like the schoolmaster's initially like, "Oh, who caused this catastrophe? I didn't authorize this," to see who kind of panics.
Yeah.
And then it's like the school's like, "We didn't do that," and it's like, "Oh, this is a legit emergency. Oh shit!" And then you have Lloyd and Yor kind of like teaming up to try and end it, and it's Yor that uses her special like pinpoint. Like she uses like pressure points.
Yes, to subdue a bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just trashed. That their clothing's trashed, and then the school guy comes back and he's like, "Oh, you have the right to apply, but we'll let you come back when you can get dressed again." And they just go, "Oh, never mind," and they just change again into their most formal like top hats and everything. It's great.
It is wonderful. Not a vodka shot. I need I to know one of my cats is completely entranced every time he talks. It's adorable. Oh, well, I'm glad I'm the cat whisperer. There we go. I'm trying to think, like, because there's the entrance, like, there's the actual entrance interview as well, where they're in front of all the
such a good scene.
The very stuffy people in the schools. You've got the headmaster who's all about elegance. I think he's the headmaster or one of the high-ranking teachers. But you've also got, like, I suppose the kind of conservative traditionalist who's all about the family and like really fucking intelligent. He's fucking mean as shit because he's got there's Anya who's sitting on a couch, and then he's interviewing the parents about their parenting. And they've all gone through their questions, and then he starts to really interrogate Yor, and he's like, "Do you think Anya prefers you over her dead mum?" And like obviously Anya starts crying, and he's like, "There's the evidence I need. You're not the mum that Anya wants." Yeah. And it, like I think Twilight.
And the thing is, Twilight is fully ready to throw his away. They made his fake doctor cry.
Yeah,
he's ready to punch people.
And his fake wife. He's like demonizing his fake wife, and he was about to fucking smash him. I think that's another thing that the show does really well, is that they don't lean into the dad constantly saving the day. The dad saves the day a lot and has his own mission, but a lot of the time when Anya is at risk from anyone, it's Yor who like kicks the shit out of like everyone who touches yes. Anya, and it is fucking hilarious. There's one where like, so one episode, Twilight is trying to disable like a bomb. There's like a terrorist threat against a diplomat, and there's a bomb there, and Anya wants to adopt a puppy, and ends up like leaning into Twilight's kind of plot line where the bombers want to strap bombs to dogs and have them detonate. So she ends up wanting to adopt one of the dogs and kind of follows it into a warehouse and then gets tangled in with the actual terrorists that are planning this, and and yours like panicking because yours at the adoption like the pet adoption event and is like panicking because she can't find Anya anywhere, and then comes up with her own kind of plot of like Anya's been kidnapped because she heard somewhere that like people are trafficking children to get married, and she ends up chasing down some of the terrorists and like battering them and just calling them perverts and stuff. It's honestly, it's fucking hilarious. It's really, I saw someone describe Yoren Lloyd as perfect by panic. Yeah, I'd say so. It's the whole thing is fucking wonderful. I loved how like you're completely kind of she missed the woods for the trees a little bit. It was like she had no idea about the terrorist threat at all, but she was like so focused on Anya and protecting Anya that she came up with this like fake plotline. It's like these guys have kidnapped Anya because they want to like marry her, and she ends up like just kicking the shit out of all of them and preventing this terrorist attack on the capital. It's just wonderful.
It's really good. It is really good. And then they end up adopting the dog that would have had a bomb strapped to it, and it's a really interesting dynamic where they're always, there's no one that's more competent than each other. Like it's a big joke that yours so strong, like she kicks people and they land like half a mile away.
One of the favorite ones is when she kicks someone and like it's in an alleyway and she kicks them so hard that they ricochet off the alley walls, and that's the kind of fun stuff you can do in that kind of anime kind of style. You can like do funny shit like that. Yeah. Which is good.
To me, the best part is Lloyd is also hyper competent, so he doesn't think any of that's weird. He's like, oh yeah, yours says she does self-defense classes. That makes sense. And it's like, yeah, they're both so hyper competent, but also so dumb. It's just like so. Yeah. Like he like. There's a scene at one of the first episodes where she's drunk and she almost kicks Lloyd into the next universe. And he's like, wow, she's really strong. Doesn't even consider that that's weird. That a civil servant is so strong that she can punch him out, who is a trained spy. Like, he's just like, oh, yeah, it must be her. Like, he's just so hyper competent. It doesn't, like, make any difference to him. He's just like, oh, yeah, makes perfect sense. And it's like, idiot.
Yeah,
like,
it's almost like
that there's something wrong here.
Yeah, like, from a plot perspective, he's always finding, like, excuses for, like, it's not so much excuses, but he just like mentally explains it away because he's also very much in like, he's a spy by trade, and that's him. I think another one that gets quite funny is that as a spy, he's also like a face changer. So he's constantly wearing disguises, but he will change his face entirely, so he can just like become other characters. And there's a bit where he becomes a secret police officer to interrogate Anya. And Anya doesn't kind of crack under the secret police.
It's Yor, it's not Anya.
Sorry, Yor. Sorry.
He interrogates Yor with his friend Frankie.
He's a fucking bomb scare.
They're trying to make sure that she's not going to tell on them or give away any information. And she just fully is just like, nope, I'm married. This is like, you could like, this is for my employment.
I am a normal housewife.
Yeah.
She's like that dynamic is just fucking brilliant. It's so much fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the episodes go, because I find there's been a few where Anya's goal is she's trying to get is Stellar Stars. Yeah, which is like
she has to befriend Damien Desmond, who is the son of the tyrant.
Yeah, who
is very neglected.
Very neglected, but like every time she tries to become friends with him, he either takes it the completely wrong way or like, because like, I think the first day at school, she punches him in the face, and yours taught Anya some self-defense, and this little 4-year-old absolutely knocks the fuck out of this, like, 6-year-old boy. And it's like, first day of school, he was being the typical kind of rich guy picking on, like, the new kid, and she fucking leathers him, and it is the funniest thing because he goes flying, and like the two wee hench guys are like stunned. It's very funny.
The thing is, it's so sweet because when you see her through his eyes, she always has like a chibi filter on. She always looks very romantic and sweet, and like she's always like very like.
Yeah.
You know, she looks like a gremlin in reality, but through his eyes, all he can see is like, oh, she's really pretty and really cute. And that's why he's always freaking out, because it's like, she's a commoner. I can't be in love with her. Like, this is awful. It's a commoner that beat the shit out of me in the first day of school. This is terrible.
Yeah. There's also like, I love, like, I think there's a lot to be said about like Anya's like animation, like facial animation, but also like when she's doing the punch, like she's like recalling what Yor told her about like twisting her hips and like really driving the punch in. Because there's the dodgeball episode as well, which is fucking hilarious, where like Anya is trying to do well in like a gym class because they think a Stella Star's like up for grabs, and she's reading the minds of the people throwing dodgeballs at her and is able to basically like plan her moves and how to dodge around it. And then she tries to throw a dodgeball herself, and it's like she's tiny. The dodgeball's bigger than she is.
The guy she's up against is like 6 foot because he's got a growth disorder.
Yeah,
like it's such a like. So
he's absolutely shredded.
Yeah, and he's massive, and it's really sweet because Damien actually sacrifices himself to save her. And then she fucks up, and it's just like, oh, I failed my mission. And it's just like, it's, you know, she's trying constantly. She considers befriending Damien to be her mission.
Yeah, because she can.
It will bring world peace if they are friends, because that's what she believes.
Yeah, she doesn't. She hasn't like. It's nice that she's able to read Twilight's mind, but like still keep her childlike understanding of the world. So like he does go, oh, I need to like take out this tyrant in order to like keep the peace, like save the world and stuff like that. And she'll just take that as like, I need to be Damien's friend. It's the only way that the world can be saved. Whole thing's very cute. Please watch it. It's good.
It is. It's good. Like, I can honestly say if you have access to it, do watch it because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's very difficult to find online if you're not in the US. Places. Yeah, if you're not in the US or Japan, I suppose it's probably quite easy in Japan. But yeah, it's been fun to kind of have on in the background. And you know what I've actually missed? I've like a lot of the stuff that I've been watching recently has been like proper like 40 minutes, 50-minute long episodes. It's really nice to have a stint of like 20-minute episodes. I don't know why, but like it's just there's something a bit more mentally freeing.
It's not as much effort to focus on, and you still get a complete story within the 25 minutes. And it's nice to just have that little bit of absorbable entertainment that's not like full commitment. Because I will say, like, I don't have the commitment to watch a film, but I will put on like a 20-minute episode of something because that's what I currently have the attention span for.
Yeah.
The fact that I end up watching 8 hours of it, because you get the full story and you can stop whenever you want, and there is sometimes just grab the attention and that's it.
I would say one thing that anime always fucking nails is just food animation. I feel like there should be like a study, or if anyone has any links to like a video essay that talks about the portrayal of food in like animated shows. Like I was watching Spirited Away. Like the food in Spirited Away is just fucking so
Anything
good.
Ghibli
There's something so good about the food.
Animations of
Rain, definitely. It's good stuff. It makes you hungry. I'm trying to think of like other TV shows that I watched The Mandalorian season 3 the other.
I haven't finished it yet.
It's fine.
I liked it so far, but again, I have 2 episodes left, I think.
Right, okay.
But
I don't know, like it kind of, for me, it really just kind of became background noise after a while. Like it's all right, but I think a lot of it was quite undercut by the Boba Fett one that kind of doubled as a kind of half Mandalorian season 3, but not really. I don't really know. Like, I don't know if they're going to take it even further because it feels like it kind of came full circle by the end. Maybe? I don't know.
Find out. I mean, I think it felt very much like, oh, we used up his important storyline by putting it in Boba Fett.
Yeah.
What do we do with this one?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So I am distracted by Holly Mop behind me.
She's a small...
Running her best in that sunbeam.
That's like the piercing ray. I mean, like when... It's been fucking roasting recently here. It's been absolutely horrible. It's been that kind of like 18 degrees Celsius, 80% humidity, like kind of stuff. So it's like my office just fucking bakes. But the one thing that I would say has been quite nice is that like, because I've got a window that kind of faces the morning sunrise, there is this beam of light that shines directly onto my other chair over there that has my Udi sitting on it, and Aoife tends to sit in this like small little like toasted loaf kind of thing. You know, it's nice. And
that's Holly Mop. She will go around the house looking for a sunbeam.
and then napping in said sunbeam.
Yes. But it's 29 degrees Celsius here with 24% humidity, so not quite as bad as the humidity in Scotland, but we are pretty toasty. For me at least. I'm sure there's some Americans that are like, that's nothing. But
yeah, Dragon Dragon sent in chats like, I say this with love. As a fellow Scot, you may not survive the coming summer. And yeah, probably. I will be fucking roasting. Like, don't know, might need to shave everything. I'll just shave everything.
Eyebrows gone.
Yeah. There was one summer I shaved my chest, right? And Jessica just refused to fucking speak to me or be near me. She said she said I looked like a mole rat. I was like, fair. She was like, you look like a baby mole rat. And that's how we're going to be ending the stream. With that image in mind, enjoy. Cool. I think that's probably us. That was going from the glory of book talk to the wonders of Spy Family. That was good fun. We'll have to think about what we're going to do for next time. We'll need another. Maybe I can take on the pain next time, and you can do the fun thing.
I'm more like I literally have so many notes I took for this goddamn TikTok drama. I don't research for these things.
Yeah, I would have taken notes for Spy Family. I was just having too much fun. So but okay, I suppose, folks, if you are familiar with what's happening, we will be wrapping up the podcast aspect of this. So if you're listening on your kind of podcast platform of your choice, thanks very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're in Twitch chat, do hang around. We'll be hanging around for a wee bit, just to talk shite and chat with all of you. But yeah, thanks very much for listening. See you in a bit.
Thank you. Bye-bye.